Hello, everybody. Welcome to the late train tonight. Running a little late tonight, but I guess late's better than never, right? Brooks was on here, but it looks like I lost her for a second. I do have some good news to share with y'all tonight, and I think y'all are going to really enjoy what I got to do today. And I'll tell y'all all about that just as soon as my co host makes it back in. What'd you do to her, Scott? You never know what Scott's up to. I got to keep an extra eye on him. Uh, I think Scott was ready for tonight, probably more than any of us. It sounds like he might have had a lot of caffeine and a lot of chocolate in the chat tonight. So I think he's ready to rock tonight. Uh, there's Sarah's in the chat. I'm all alone, guys. Nobody's sitting beside me in my studio tonight. I'm all alone. Um, it takes me a lot of money, to run these shows. Uh, but anyways, yeah, I got some good news for y'all tonight. I think y'all are going to love the news I got. I'm going to go ahead and bring Brooks in before she runs off on me again. Let's see here. There she is.
Hey, everybody.
I saw you in the chat and I saw you disappear.
Well, I froze, so I thought I better go out and come back in.
I was telling everybody we got a good night planned tonight. We're going to talk about I think, kind of some creepy things and some things that I don't know. I'd like to know what happened, but we may never know. I think a lot of
No.
it gets suppressed.
Yeah.
There's Tracy.
Yeah.
Miriam says, Brooks, thanks for the tag on Facebook.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, like I said, it's just me and you tonight. I don't know what happened to Kaylee. I think maybe werewolf got her or something. But it might have been that bacon smell.
Ooh.
I know. But I think she smells like that anyway, so I'm not sure. I told them if they didn't come on tonight, I was going to give both of them a hard time. So, yep. So, Sarah, you're next. Just here in a little bit. I won't forget you, I promise. I even tried to talk Mom to come in on the show tonight. She almost did it, except for she was eating. So.
Well, she should. Everybody loves your mom.
That's what I told her.
Yeah.
She'll end up making me the co-host.
That's right. And I'll be the co-host.
I'm just going to sit back and drink my latte and listen to y'all.
There you go.
No, guys, Sarah was going to be on tonight, but she ended up getting a fist fight with her husband, and I think she had to take him to the ER. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of that. I'm trying to mind my own business. But I know that she was talking about something about giving him the big elbow or something, so I'm not sure what was going on. I guess I should pick on her husband a little bit too. I saw him today. He was looking at his tomato plants. He said, Mike, I got a question for you. I said, what's that, Chris? He said, how do you always grow the most beautiful garden? And I can't do it. It takes a lot of practice, but I'm going to try to help him have a decent garden this year. I might help him out a little.
Right. Yeah, I can see it now. They're going to turn the rabbits loose in your garden.
Oh man, did you see the rabbits I filmed the other day in my front yard?
Yeah, I did.
Not even afraid of me because Sarah feeds them.
I know. That's what I said. So they're going to turn the rabbits loose in your garden. She's got them trained.
I know that might make for me an easy meal this winter though. She keeps them coming up that easy. Have me some rabbit. No, I don't hunt anything out of the yard.
No.
Mom would probably skin me.
Well, I'd be hunting horses and elk and deer in mine and skunk.
Maybe the occasional bear.
Yeah, the bear. Had the mountain lion, had the wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see who we got in here with us tonight. I'm going to do roll call. I forgot to do that last time. I got in trouble by everybody. So we got Miriam. Welcome to the show. We got Margie. We got, is that Scott? Yeah, I guess that's Scott. Scott B's in here tonight. I think he's having his meat on a stick. He sent me pictures of what he was eating tonight. We got Sarah from AI Boots on the Ground joining us tonight via her phone since she couldn't show up at the studio tonight. We got Herbert. We got Kaylee. Where are you at? That's what Scott says. We got Mary. We got Dana. We got Circley. Good to see you. I recognize you now from being in all of my videos. I appreciate your support. We got Mohawk. We got Tracy moderating tonight. We got Arcane Paranormal World in here tonight, which is Jessie. She's awesome. Go check her channel out, guys. She's just getting it kicked off. We got, let's see, Kaylee Louie in here tonight.
Kaylee Louie.
We'll get her a nickname before it's all over. Dana Affliction's in here. I don't know if I said her name or not. I might have. I don't know. There's Herbert's in here tonight.
Yeah.
Always good to see Herbert. We never know what he's going to do. He's kind of like Scott. He's unpredictable.
And Belinda and Keith.
There's Keith. Keith is a huge, I mean, every time I put a video out, I know I'm going to see Keith in the comments. He's like the first or second. So I appreciate that, Keith. I appreciate your support.
We got Romans, Belinda, Michelle.
All right.
It's in here. Margie.
We got the whole gang here tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, I think tonight must be a pretty popular night at this time because I noticed Anton's is on also. So I think it's a pretty good night. I mean, we got our family over here. They got the cult going on over there. So I guess it's a pretty popular night to go on. Let's see. Well, I got to do something pretty fun today. I got to go see Hunter. We had a really good visit at town tonight. And, well, I'll tell you all what. That little guy had me laughing. We were talking about Wide Open Adventures and the channels and everything. And he asked me, he said, Dad, how are they doing? And I was telling him how they went and everything. And he's like, no. What's the numbers? So he's getting into the numbers now. He's getting into all this algorithm and explaining it to me. And I told him, I said, well, Abnormal Adventures, you have a lot of supporters. They're putting purple hearts out for you, your favorite color. And I told him that there was a hashtag for him going around and everything. And I told him about everybody that's donating to him, everybody that sent gifts to him. And he was like, oh my God, how many gifts do I have, Dad? And he said, we're going to do a show on me opening them, right? I said, yeah. He goes, probably going to be a big show, huh? I said, yeah, probably so. And I told him, I said, I lost Wide Open Adventures. And he said, what? I said, yeah, I lost it. And he said, how? I said, everybody says it's your channel. I said, I guess I'm just the co-host over there. And he goes, oh, well, yeah, I guess whenever I come back, I'll have to take that channel back over. I said, yeah, I guess so, because everybody wants to see you.
That's
he got a
right.
big smile. Oh, he got a huge smile out of that. And, he loves the Purple Hearts. I told him about it. And he thought that was awesome. He said, Dad, I'm loved by people that don't even know me. And I said, you have a lot of people out there that love you, Hunter, that support you. And I told him that there is many, many behind you. And he smiled, guys, from ear to ear. He loved it. He loves you guys. He loved going live and talking to y'all. And he was just really, really happy about it.
Was he excited about the extra land your mom gave you and Sarah?
Yes, he's excited about seeing the farm grow, seeing all the new animals.
Yes.
He said he's going to be, taking care of them. So. But, he said, Dad, he goes, you got a lot more room now to put some cows out there or something. And I said, yeah, we may do that. And I think Sarah was talking about bronc riding or something the other night. So I'm not sure what we're going to have going on out there in the future, but we might have our own little rodeo. Kaylee riding the donkey, and Sarah, I don't know what Sarah would ride. Maybe the ostrich. We'll figure out something. I think her husband will probably ride the sheep. He seems to like the sheep pretty good.
Oh no,
okay.
Y'all be nice to Polo.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to get him a ladder anyways to get on him. I don't think he would. Hello, Carolyn. Good to see you. But he was a very, very happy little boy to see all the support and everything. And it made me happy to see how happy he was. So I thought it was
Absolutely.
really, really good to see him so happy.
Well, God bless your mom for giving y'all that extra land to expand Hunter's channel.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm just co-hosting that channel now,
That's right.
so I'm just holding it down. But I'm sure he'll have plans for it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get his opinion on what critters he wants.
Yeah, he likes chickens a lot, so I'm sure it'll be a lot of chickens. He loves chickens.
Yeah.
So, well, I think Jim Bob's a new one. I just seen come up tonight. I don't think we've had him in here before. There's Jim Bob. Did you see him? I think that's a new one. Good
Yeah.
to see you, Jim. Who, Mom? Thought Mom said something. She may have. Yeah, Sarah says Hunter's going to want chickens and rabbits. Yeah,
Yeah.
he will. But yeah, it was a really good time tonight. It was a great
Good.
trip.
Good.
Huh? He he's a good boy, and he's being stronger than what he should have to be at his age. He misses all of us, and he wants to come home. But
Yeah.
we're working on that. All of us have been working on that. Our
Yeah.
channel, our family, everybody, and
Well, your house is the only home he's ever known.
yes, that's it.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Oh, Tracy, thank you. Well, yeah, it's the only place he has ever known. Tracy, we appreciate that a whole bunch. Thank you very much. But yeah, he's we'll just say he's hanging in there.
Yeah.
Well, tonight our subject is, where are all these kids going that are being taken?
Mm.
Um, you know, when you read the stories, and I've got some here tonight, we're going to look at. Huh? I don't care. I think Mom's going to come on. I have to adjust my. Mom's actually going to set in tonight, Brooks.
All right. Good.
I'm just sitting. I don't know nothing.
Get over here, Kay.
I'm here.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I'd have been better if I could have seen Hunter.
Yeah. I know.
They didn't want me in the parking lot tonight, though. They said I had to park where you couldn't even see my car.
That's ridiculous. You're the only grandma he's ever known.
Yeah. And I'm not a criminal, so I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't either. It's just mind boggling.
Yep.
Sad. I was looking at, you remember, and I'm sure everybody's going to remember this name, Riker Webb, whenever he went missing. There was a big controversy. A lot of people said, Roman said hi, Mom. A lot of people
Hi,
said
Roman.
they did not believe it was the same kid that came back that was missing. It's a it's a really weird story. Let's see here. I've got some notes because I've read so many of these encounters. But anyways, Riker Webb, whenever he went missing, a lot of people said that's not the same kid that came back. And I thought, is it a different kid, you think? So I got to looking, and he does look a little different.
Hmm.
Does he look that different to you?
Yeah, he does. I mean, his eyes, I mean, it could be shock. The expression on that child's face is unbelievable. It looks like I mean, even being lost, a kid wouldn't have that kind of expression on his face. I don't think. I think he saw
And I
something.
don't think that shock, yeah, I don't think shock would have caused him to look that different. I think it would have showed him uh, afraid looking, maybe skinnier, a little flush, something like that. But
Hmm.
I don't think he would have looked like that.
Right. I don't either. Something happened.
Right. I think that he's seen something out there that he shouldn't have seen.
Right.
Um, for some reason, my notes I sent you tonight in the email are gone.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Oh, you sent it on Messenger to me.
Messenger. Okay, let me try that. Because I had some things.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Everything's on Messenger, huh?
Yeah.
And of course, my computer is going to tell me I have to log back in.
No.
But anyways, they said that his hairline did not look like the same hairline that they seen whenever he went missing. Did you see a difference in his hairline? And I'm going to throw a picture up in just a second.
Yeah, I didn't pay any attention to that. So,
All right, I'm going to throw a photo up here in just a second when I find what I sent you. My stuff's kind of wacky tonight. There we go.
did you get it?
Yeah, finally. All right, guys. A lot of people said that he looked different. They said his hairline was different. They said that his eyes were spaced differently apart. They were too big. People said it was just a different kid. A lot of people went as far as to say that they believed that it could have been the fairies or the fae,
Hmm.
how they would, exchange kids, and he was
Right.
sent back. But we're really not going to know probably for a little while until what really happened. Until if he starts growing weird or acting weird. Uh, I think that I don't know. I'm just going to throw his picture up and we'll see what you all think. Does this look like the same kid? And I done a comparison on the photograph. The one on the left is where he went missing, and the one on the right is where they found him. People say that is not the same kid.
Don't look the same to me.
I think he looks different too.
Look at his jawline.
Look at the nose.
Um,
His nose is different too.
Oh,
His
it is.
face is a lot thinner.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
how
his
long was
nose.
he out? Yeah, how long was he out there?
He was missing for a little over 50 hours. So
Well, he wouldn't drop that kind of weight in 50 hours, I wouldn't think.
no, because if even like look at his nose. He's got a flat nose on the left. That's where he went missing. And on the right, he
Uh-huh.
has a long, narrow nose that's standing.
Uh-huh. His
I
eyes
see
look a
just
little closer to his nose than the other picture.
and his ears. Look at his ears.
Yeah.
So a lot of people said that is not him.
Hmm.
It says Riker Webb is a 3-year-old boy who was found safe in Montana after going missing for 2 days. Riker Webb was rescued after using a lawnmower bag to keep himself warm from freezing temperatures. Riker Webb survived by seeking shelter in a shed. It was reported on Friday by the Lincoln County Sheriff's Darren Short about Riker Webb. He was found on Sunday about 1 mile to 2 miles. They don't 1 to 2 miles, I guess, from Montana, United States. Riker Webb went missing wearing only a onesie. Okay, but here's the thing: the onesie that he was found in was not the one he was wearing when he went missing.
Right.
He was wearing different clothes. The couple said that he was found in a shed because another couple had heard him whimpering, to where they called the sheriff's department, and he was later found in a shed. Now remember, this kid had been out for 2 days, freezing cold temperatures. He's 3 years old, and they're saying that he went out, found a shed on his own, covered himself up with the lawnmower bag, stayed in place at 3 years old for 2 days.
I'm not either.
Too many kids at that age, they're going to go outside. They're not going to
Yeah.
lay down in the shed and cover up. Because when hyperthermia sets in,
Mm.
they don't have a sense of being cold. They have a sense of being hot. So
Right.
I don't picture him doing that. Especially the mindset of a 3-year-old, right? I just don't. Let me get back to chat in case people are saying something. I have to look at a different screen when I do that. But a lot of people are saying it was not, the same one. And like what Marion says, she says when she was 3 years old, she wouldn't have stayed still. And I don't believe that a child at 3 is going to stay still in a shed and have the I guess
He'd be screaming or whatever. He would be making some racket.
Yeah, I think he would be wandering around the woods, looking, trying to find things or mess around with things.
Well, there's got to be spiders and mice in the shed.
Right.
No kid's going to stay in there with spiders and mice.
He'd be scared to death in there by himself.
Yeah, and and shut the door in a dark shed, then cover yourself up with a lawnmower bag.
Mm-mm.
I don't see that happening.
No.
They said adverse weather conditions initially hampered efforts to locate the boy. So we know the weather was so bad that adults that were dressed for the search and rescue had to call it off. So you're going to tell me a 3-year-old can survive out there by himself whenever professional rescuers can't even go out there?
Right.
I don't think so. Searchers and rescue team members were able to get a sense of the general direction of Riker was walking after he wandered away from the home by following a trail of rocks that appeared to have been recently moved. There's a story about Sasquatch placing rocks as trail marker heads.
Stacking them.
Yep. So I'm wondering if what took him wasn't leaving a trail for the others to follow.
Very possible. I mean, I've heard of them helping children.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another weird thing, too. Riker's parents have not been disclosed of who they are. They've asked to remain anonymous. So they're not even going to tell you who the parents are so that you're even able to talk to the parents to try to find out, about Riker or anything.
Yeah.
But Riker, while being interviewed by his brother on a recording, a video recording, he said, "I was in a house with a weird-looking man, and some reports say he said, just a man." What gets me is where he said, a weird-looking man.
Of course, he didn't say how short or tall the man was either.
Right. And they're not going to let that out anyways.
No.
Riker was not reported missing for 2 hours after he went missing. They also left the case as an open case. That way you can't file a FOIA on it, which I think is weird. The child was found. You would think they would close the case. You think he was spooked to go in there, Belinda, or do you think he was taken in there by something to take shelter? I've wondered if something didn't take shelter with him in that building.
Right.
But what's
Stayed
weird,
in there with him.
yeah, and the little boy called it a house. He didn't even call it a building. He said it was a house.
Hmm.
But I guess, if that small of a child, he could call a building maybe a house. I don't know. Now remember, he was in adverse weather conditions, okay? Now you move on. There's another child that goes missing. Where'd that go? Handy Jones said if it's not the same child, the parents know certainly. And that may be why they've asked to be remain anonymous.
Hmm.
There may be more going on to this than what we know behind the scenes.
Or I mean, or they can just be told to be quiet about it. Period.
Oh, yeah. They have their ways.
Whether it's the same child or not. If something took that kid,
Right.
they're going to tell them to shut up.
Yep. Just like what Handy Jones said. And they're not talking.
Hmm.
And then you have another child. His name was Phoenix. And I'm going to show you a picture of him. He also went missing.
They look similar, don't they?
That's what I was going to get to. Now he's 4 years old. He's a year older. You notice the hair color similarities?
Mm-hmm.
They both have red hair.
Yeah.
And 3 and 4 years of age, so they're about the same age. And Phoenix was a nonverbal child that has autism. So we know by the 411 investigations that, people that have disabilities somehow are more susceptible to being abducted or just totally go missing and not to be found.
Right.
He was also located 1 mile away from where he went missing. These are all within a mile or two.
I don't know. That's weird. That's a lot for little boys to take off.
And for them to be found in about the same amount of distance
Mm-hmm.
from where they went missing,
Right.
I think that's really, really odd. Phoenix was found in the woods around 3:15 p.m. on Sunday afternoon by 25-year-old Mark Keith Williams. He recalled he was just looking scared and went to cry, but when he seen we weren't going to hurt him, he just started looking around again. After more than 50 hours, Phoenix was found in the woods at around 3:15 p.m. Sunday afternoon by 25-year-old Mark Keith Williams. He recalled the child seemed to be in good condition. Now, this is after over 50 hours. A 4-year-old in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marquis says he woke up on Sunday morning. He said that God had put in his heart to go and help find Phoenix. He said, I had my auntie, who's an evangelist, pray for me before we left because I said it wasn't going to work if she didn't. Phoenix was said to be found wearing the same clothes as he was when he went reported missing on Friday and did not appear dirty. Okay? His feet and stuff were pretty clean. He was not wearing socks, but he was in very damp conditions, and temperatures in the last 2 nights were 31 and 27 degrees in very damp conditions, and the kid was clean, even his feet.
Mm-mm. No, their feet ain't going to be clean.
No.
And they're
He
going
was
to have, they're going to have scratches on their legs and everything else. I saw something yesterday about a man that he ended up being barefoot and had on shorts, and he showed the bottom of his feet and his legs. They were all scratched up and his feet were dirty.
Huh. And that's an adult
Yeah.
that knows, kind of how to stay out of the briars and stuff like that.
hmm Did you see what Arcane said?
No, I had to leave the chat to do the videos. Let me jump back over.
She was
What
telling
was
about a story of a family whose young daughter went missing.
my computer does not like me.
And she says months later was discovered miles away in another town. She couldn't remember anything. And then later discovered the remains of their daughter. So that wasn't their daughter. In a nearby field, a man admitted to the murder, and the parents gave the other child over to the orphanage, but the family was absolutely sure it was her. She was wearing the same clothes she went missing in. Now that's weird.
Wow. Hey, thank you for stopping by, Circly. Get you some rest, and we appreciate you popping in tonight. It's always good to see you.
Yeah.
You know, I think these things go after the kids because number one, they're easy. They're easy to carry.
hmm
But also, do you think they're looking for something to keep with them underground, to grow up with them, to maybe for like mating?
They could be doing that. Um, if they're cloning them, they keep them there to mingle with the clone to try and get the mannerisms down and then send out the clone. I don't know.
And then you have to think about what are these little kids seeing, whenever they
hmm
do that.
Well, and then when they're that little boy that said his grandmother took him into a cave, and then he figured out it wasn't his grandmother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that the grandmother in the cave kind of had a mechanical voice, robotic voice.
Chrissy thinks that the child, the Riker Webb, might have been cloned.
Right.
For some reason, that is not opening again. I don't know what's going on with that. My computer is giving me fits right now. It does not want to open my program.
Yeah, it's real creepy. I don't know. Yeah, you'd think if there is a clone or if they have something that they're going to release out into the real world, that they'd kidnap people to figure out mannerisms to help teach them, and then they get rid of them.
Right. And, I feel sorry for them for whatever they might be seeing whenever something does take them. I mean, what are they going through?
hmm
What are they seeing? And again, I go back to the movie Bone Tomahawk. I mean, those were adults that were caught and taken in there. I guess I'm going to have to restart it. And I'm not even sure, that I could have went through what they went through.
I don't know. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that movie.
Too gory.
Did you watch it, Kay?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Too gory for me.
It's actually really
Yeah.
good. Uh-oh, here we go. Look at the tooth gap in the Phoenix and the first child picture. They are the same. Okay, let's look at that. She says they both have the same tooth gap, so let's replay those. There's this. And then we'll play Phoenix is next. This is Riker Webb we're looking at right here. And then when this one shuts off, we'll go back to the other child.
Was that picture taken right before he disappeared?
It didn't say. It just said it was a before and after.
Right.
I don't know if they have a tooth gap or not.
Don't look like it to me.
I don't think there's a tooth gap. It looks like this child has a tooth gap, but I'm not seeing one on the Riker. Are you seeing a tooth gap?
Just on the second one.
And we'll throw the other one up just to make sure. But I don't see a tooth gap. I don't see one.
Takes a minute for it to get over here. Let's see.
I do see
No, he's
the
got
similarity,
little-
though, in the hair color. And
That little boy on the right looks nothing like the little boy on the left.
It
He
doesn't.
almost looks like a plastic ball.
yeah, he don't even look real.
Mm-mm.
He looks
His
like,
face is way thinner.
yeah, something's really off with that.
And, well, the bridge on his nose, too. If you look at the eyes and the nose, the first picture, his nose is flatter and it's so much skinnier, and his eyes seem to be closer set in. That's what I'm seeing.
And I think the little boy on the right's eyes are rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Roman said there are stories of changelings and fey lore from almost every culture.
That's right.
And there's a Rodney also noticed the narrow eyes. That's what a lot of people were talking about, was the narrow eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert says 2 different cameras. I don't think the cameras would have changed the eyes though and the nose.
I don't
think-
think so either.
Maybe with the shading or something, but the pixelation. But I think that the structures of the face would have pretty much stayed the same. The coloring might have been different, maybe.
Hey,
Hello.
Patrick. Good to see you.
Is that PKR?
Uh-huh. It's Patrick.
So I think it's probably, I don't know. I have to say that's 2 different kids. I don't think that's the same kid.
Yeah. He, like I said, if he was gone 50 hours, he couldn't have lost that much weight.
And to be just a mile from home.
Right.
And they say that he stayed in a cabin. So if he stayed in a cabin, then he wasn't moving around enough to lose that much weight. It ain't like he was wandering for those whole 2 days.
Right.
And why didn't they find him if he was only a mile from home if they were looking for him?
Mhm.
Yeah, because they said it was a huge search.
Wouldn't that have been one of the first things you'd have looked in?
Yeah. I
Yeah, and then the different clothes too. Yeah. Had on different clothes. Yeah, we're just talking and guessing. I mean,
mean,
none of us know.
yeah, I mean, we're just, I guess, trying to. They ain't the same kid. Oh yeah, they did talk about the DNA. I'm glad you brought that up. They said that they took the blood from Riker whenever he came back, and the DNA was a different match. It did not match the DNA from the little boy that went missing.
Did these little boys talk about what had happened to them?
Let's see, what was it? Riker said that he stayed in was it Riker that stayed in the house with the weird man, I believe? If I could get this to work, because I had all this worked up for us tonight.
Was that all he said? I mean,
Uh,
I think, if one of my little grandkids got kidnapped, them little boogers would be telling you everything. Not just that I stayed in the cabin with the weird man.
right.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
that they're also interviewed, and the interviews, because they're minors, isn't going to be released to the public. It's going to be sealed. So we're not never going to know the true story behind, what actually happened. I mean, look at, Dennis Martin. This is a weird one. Martin went missing in June of 1969. He was on a Father's Day hiking trip with his father, some other adults, and two other children. The three kids planned to go ahead on the trail a short distance and hide. When the adults caught up, they planned to jump out and scare them. It was obvious that the kids were planning to the adults. They were trying to scare the adults, is what they're trying to say. But they let them continue their plan without spoiling their fun. The two other kids split up from Dennis. The two hid on the side of the trail, and Dennis went to the opposite side. When the kids enacted their scare and Dennis did not jump out with them, Dennis's father immediately began to panic and search for the boy. They searched the surrounding area, hoping that Dennis got turned around and hadn't gone far. Later that day, a member of the hiking group made it to the ranger station and alerted them to Dennis Martin's disappearance. By that time, a major rainstorm was ravaging the area. The next day, there was still rain and low visibility, but still a large search party for Dennis was gained. The search party grew so large that it hindered search efforts. When a search party is too large, clues are more commonly trampled and lost. The Keys was a family that was also hiking around the same time and location of Dennis Martin's appearance. The story reported that the Keys child thought that they saw a figure that looked like a bear running up the hill with something over its back.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many bears that's going to throw a kid on its back and run?
On two legs.
I see black bears all the time. They don't even do that to their own cubs.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they witnessed was whatever grabbed this child and took off running with him.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they were talking, this thing was running fast.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the Smoky Mountains. That's right, Mindy. And he was never seen again, is what they're saying.
Yeah. I think they found his shoe or something like that.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have another child, Casey Hathaway. He was playing in his grandmother's yard with two other children and his family when the others returned inside. Casey did not. The family began to search for him. They looked around the immediate area in approximately 45 minutes before alerting authorities. The terrain was difficult to traverse and the temperatures were low, but search and rescue officials from around North Carolina began their search for Casey. A great effort was put into locating the missing 3-year-old. Many volunteers ended up giving up the search because the conditions were so harsh. Concerns were raised about the low temperatures and how unlikely it would be for the 3-year-old to survive alone in the conditions like that for very long at all. Yet eventually Casey Hathaway was found. On the third official day of the search and rescue, teams heard a boy crying out for his mother. In the emergency room, Casey started to give some information on his story. He told his family that a bear kept him company during the time of his disappearance. There has not been much more information that has been published about Casey's own account of his story. Although there is a small amount of information on the story when being compared to others.
Yeah, I think it was changed from a large gorilla to a bear. Bear's
No.
not going to keep him company.
Nobody thought it was Bigfoot.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and that happened in the last year or two.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago at all. Yeah.
So there's another thing in the woods that took a kid, that took care of the child, And the child explained it to be like a bear. And a small child's not going to know what Bigfoot is, so they're going to think of the next best thing that they know what is and try to compare it to what they know.
Right.
And so, they're going to think a bear, a big, hairy figure.
Or a monkey at least.
Right. And, Susan thinks it was a maternal Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then you look at another case in Walhalla, Michigan. This is 1868.
Good grief.
3-year-old Katie Flynn went missing. Katie's father, Henry Flynn, operated a lumber camp outside of Walhalla. Katie would play in and around the area of the camp while her father worked. When Henry returned home at the end of the day, his daughter wasn't there waiting for him like usual. They found 2 sets of tracks gradually covering one another. The following morning, the search resumed. It went all day until late afternoon, until distant cries were heard. Following the noises led those searching up to a river. Upon getting to the river, a splash of something loud hitting the water was heard. According to the search party of the men, a large bear-like creature jumped into the water as they approached the river and quickly swam to the other side and continued to flee bipedally. Katie Flynn was there at the river, standing on the fallen tree, completely unharmed other than a few light scratches. When Katie was taken back home and later questioned about her story, she described playing in the sand after her father had left. A large black thing then came and played with her. He eventually gave Katie its paw, and she walked away with the black thing. Later that afternoon, the creature left her for a short period and returned with a paw full of berries. Katie and the creature ate the berries together. The creature made a bed out of leaves and laid with Kaylee, using its body to keep her warm throughout the night. Katie was also asked about her missing shoe, as the search team only found her with one shoe when she was rescued. She said the big dog ate it.
Oh, it was a dog?
Well, she calls it a big, large black thing. And then she says a big dog ate it. Now, if you think about it, if this thing, whatever it is, went and picked berries, right, and it brought them back to her, it had to have an opposable thumb to go pick berries and to carry it in its hand and offer it to her.
Yeah, I've never seen a bear or a dog, either one, put something in their paw, turn it up, and carry it to somebody.
Right.
Nope.
And to make a bed and lay with the child?
Yeah, nope. See, these things have been out there a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot longer than what we know. And
Well,
somebody mentioned in the comments that the natives, had problems with their children getting stolen.
Yeah. The natives said they used to trade with them. And they found that at first they thought it was a good deal. It was they would trade, but the natives didn't really call them an animal or a monster. They call them, and if you think about the key points of what the natives called them, they called them a tribe,
right?
Which to them back then was a tribe of humans. They ate the Indians' children, and they called them cannibals. Well, you have to be the same species to be a cannibal to eat the same species. So they're talking about something that was a lot like them, but then they also say, well, they were different. They were larger. They had different, their noses, their mouths. They were hairier. They were larger. They had their own language. They said they even had their own language.
Right. And, that brings me, I found a channel I'm watching, and it's from the Four Corners area. And it's a guy that goes out there and he sees, there are dwellings all up in these rocks. I mean, way up there. But there's a lot of pictographs. And he showed one the other day. He said, and I don't understand this. He said, it's a barefoot. It was a barefoot, but it had 6 toes.
Well, a lot of
Uh-huh.
the fossils are finding right now. Hello, Lori C. Uh, they are finding hands with 6 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And don't they say that the giants had 6 fingers in the Bible?
Yes.
The giants had 6
Uh-huh.
fingers, 6 toes.
Yeah, and double teeth.
Yeah, 2 rows
Yep.
of teeth.
Well, and it's like I said before, the Native Americans, how came about was when they greeted people, they'd say, how, because they're counting the digits on their hand.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And, like what Rebecca Curtis says, the Nephilim had 6 fingers.
That's right.
So that's another passed down trait that proves the
Right.
Bible right, that there was a corruption of the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly says,
And I think too that even nowadays the Nephilim, I mean, they have been created, whatever. Now not all of them have the 6 fingers. They figured out how to get that out.
Right.
Well, whatever it was I saw whenever I was a kid at home, we had a huge mulberry tree up in our pasture. And it never brought us mulberries from there, and we sure didn't get taken for 2 days and then return us or anything. Yeah, I think that's really weird. They just keep them for a couple of days and then turn them loose.
Right. There's something they want from them.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
You don't think they're taking DNA from the children, do you?
Could be.
I mean, because DNA, all they would need is what? A fingernail, saliva,
Hair.
blood.
Hair. Yeah.
I mean, they could
Well,
take them, cut some hair. And that's what people don't get is these things are a lot smarter than what we give them credit for.
right.
They have been here since the beginning of time.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
Satan,
they're a product of the fallen angels, so
right. And there was a person that said, Mike, whenever you done the Girl Scout investigation, didn't the natives say that they're all the same? And that is what the shaman said. They said they are all the same. What that led me to believe, and I've thought about this because people say, well, they all look different. They all look different. They all look different. But what if the natives already knew
that they all come from the same thing?
that they all came from, the same thing, the center of that spider web.
Yep.
That's why they said they were the same. They wasn't saying they were the same physically. The natives, they spoke spiritually a lot.
Right.
So maybe they were saying spiritually, these are the same things.
Right. Exactly. 100%. Yeah.
And whenever, when I questioned them and I said, why do you say that? They were rude. I'm not going to lie. They were rude, but it's like, they knew, and they said, because we spoke with them. We lived with them. We traded with them. We knew them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, we got to talking, and they said the reason that they live in the woods, if they don't like to come to the clearing, is because white men had guns, and they could shoot them in the openings. If they was in the open, they was fair game to be shot. But if they stayed in the woods, and you go into the woods after them, well, you got trees and everything for cover, camouflage to hide. You can't shoot as far. So they were smart.
Right. And I do believe that they have there are some things that they can do being from the descendants of the fallen angels. I mean, they have some different type of capabilities, like their speed, maybe their strength, the noises they make.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know,
Maybe the tree knocks, I've said for a long time, maybe the tree knocks aren't knocks. Maybe they're sounds that they're able to use.
yeah,
Uh, they say they can make sounds above and below what we can hear. They've proven that.
mm-hmm,
Well, we know that, Satan had instruments inside of him. The Bible spoke metaphorically a lot. So what if the instruments were actually vocal cords, and they were able to do this with their vocal cords? Maybe that was the instruments. Maybe they're a lot better than ours, a lot more advanced, that they could
oh
make
yeah,
beautiful music and sounds that we can't hear today, that the angels can hear that we can't hear because we don't have those attributes.
yeah. Well, and it's very well known what we only use a portion of our brain.
Right?
That's
Some
in
more than others.
humans. Yeah, yeah,
Some use a lot more than others.
Some are like this.
yeah. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. They say
Right. And
we don't even use all of our brains.
a scientist was saying just the other day, I was reading it. In order for us to remember something, we have to forget something.
Hmm.
But if we used our whole brain, did you know they say if we was able to use our whole brain and to be able to tap into our whole brain, that it would be so far more advanced than our highest, best computer we have?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Arcane says, I wonder if in some situations these are females wanting to be motherly, maybe just as a child of their own, then change their mind to return the child.
I had a couple of kids like that. Had them around a while and then one took them back.
Yeah. um, I think it's possible. I think that, and maybe sometimes the reason that some of them die is because these things as children would probably be stronger than our children, and maybe they're a little rougher with our children because they don't understand how fragile we've become, and they accidentally kill them. But then you have to go back and think about, are they accidentally killing them when you're finding children that are partially eaten?
Right.
And then you find even adults, Linda Hamilton, is that right? Linda Hamilton, the lady that was found in the ditch, I believe that's right, that was partially eaten.
Right.
Imagine her. She was alive when they found her with water up to her neck, partially consumed alive.
Mm,
And when they took her to the hospital, I thought it was so stupid. I read the police report. You know what the police officer said? He tried to interview her, but she was uncooperative.
you
If I'd
think?
been if I'd been half eaten and left in a ditch, I'm probably not going to be very cooperative either, because last time I checked, a person that's in shock usually isn't cooperative at all, and she had to be in shock.
Absolutely. 100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know why he was trying to interview her if she was in that state of condition. That, to me, that was unprofessional. He
Well,
should
yeah.
have,
That's one of them people that don't have a brain.
yeah. I think that was rude. I think that showed,
Stupidity.
yeah. I don't think that was right at all.
No.
I don't know.
It's kind of like that movie Them about the giant ants. Ooh, I'm showing my age. It's one of my favorite old science fiction movies. And that little girl, the giant ants broke
Logan,
into their travel trailer, and they found her walking in the desert, and she was just staring.
Logan has a cartoon of that, and he used to watch it a lot.
Oh gosh.
I know he hasn't watched it forever, but it's like the cartoon part.
Huh. I hadn't seen it.
Mike, who got a spanking? I don't know. Michelle wants to know who got a spanking.
I
When?
don't know.
I don't know.
When, Michelle?
I do too, Frida. I love all those old movies. I like the original War of the Worlds. That's one of my favorite.
They're better than what they put out today.
I'm telling you,
Like,
I can watch them all day long.
like that Tomahawk show
Yeah.
that
Oh,
Mark likes. I mean,
that's a good movie.
I,
like
well,
that.
I've got that Roku TV, and there's an app on here you can download that has the old science fiction movies. It's awesome. It's great. I love it. It's got Creature from Black Lagoon. It's got all the old ones.
I don't know. I just think that these things are. I mean, that mom seen one at the bottom of the steps looking at her, and it didn't do nothing. It just looked at her.
Mm,
that's what most people do, though, and run.
yeah. I don't really want to see anything.
No more grays.
Yeah, no.
Let me
No,
see
and
if I,
that was 31 years ago that happened.
old Vincent Price movies. Let me see if I can find something real quick. I'll be
She
right
said-
back.
She said, Mike, you were saying something about somebody got in trouble.
They are, Frida. I love them. Yeah, and I like Vincent Price movies too. They're pretty neat.
It's like some Mike
Yeah.
watch.
But yeah, I mean, if these things are taking kids, I don't know. I keep my kids close, anyways. I'm not going to let them get out there where they're going to get taken. Because
Right.
I mean, that'd be the most horrible feeling in the world, is to know that your child was gone,
Ugh.
especially overnight in the woods, not knowing where he's at or how afraid he is or what's got him, or
Well, and two, I've heard, you always think dress your kids in bright colors so you can spot them. But I've heard too that's the wrong thing to do because they're easier to grab.
Oh yeah, yeah. You may be making them more visible for what's hunting them.
Right. I've heard that.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next week, I'm going to try to get into that old house we found. I'm going to try to hike up into there. So that'll probably be the live next week, is going up into that place.
Okay.
And hopefully we can get in there, and hopefully that house is still there.
Yeah.
You might find a kid in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's no telling what's in there.
Yeah, something may be living in there.
But I'm definitely going to try to hike up in there and take a look, because when we found it the first time, we started hearing whistling and stuff, and we had to get out of there.
Hmm.
So Scott's looking for some thick ranch.
Yeah, I think that's who you're gonna have to whoop is Scott.
Yeah, we might have to take him for some bait. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, is to hike up in there and do a live on the boots on the ground. We're doing a boots on the ground next week.
Yep.
I'm looking forward just to getting in there and exploring and looking around.
What
Yeah.
if they kidnapped Scott and cloned him?
I don't know what they would do with Scott.
We'd have two Scotts.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You could call one of them at 4 o'clock in the morning, Mike.
Yep, 3 or 4. That's
Yeah.
always a good time. That's a good time to conversate.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we're going to be having a boots on the ground next week. We're going to be going into the woods. We're going to be doing explore. I don't know if Sarah's going to go. She said she might, but I'm definitely going. So
She's going to have to go back to the doctor. Her head is so stopped up, and she finished her Z-Pack.
Bless her heart.
I know. I've never seen nothing like it.
Mhm. We'll all pray for Sarah to get over her creeping crud.
Well, she
Yeah.
said today she just feels so bad, so she's sick of it.
yeah, it's fun, Carolyn. I really like doing it. Yeah, we got to get her uh, fired up there, Pryor, Oklahoma. Not too far from Pryor. Not really far at all from Pryor, really.
What happened in Pryor?
What happened in Pryor, Miriam? Yeah, Scott's going to be bait, Beverly, no doubt. He's definitely going to be bait.
Yeah, he's earned that position.
We're gonna pour ranch all over him and tie him up out there.
Thick ranch.
We've got people from everywhere.
Yeah, there's Oregon.
Yeah.
I've seen people in Canada, Oregon, everywhere.
Ireland.
Ireland. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did she say something happened in Pryor, or that's just where she's from?
Oh, she said they got a dogman on video there. Wow, that's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, Miriam, send me an email on that. I'd like to check that out.
Miriam, do you remember when they thought Bigfoot was tearing up those cars on that car lot in Veneta? And they went into work one day, and the bumpers and stuff was pulled off of the front of the new cars.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like the second day, they finally got security lights put up. But for 2 nights, it was going in there tearing those cars up. And they said they got some hair off of one of the bumpers. But they
Right.
never reported what they thought it was or anything.
Well, of course not.
Yeah, that's not real far from Pryor.
Wow. There's New Zealand. 2 people from New
Right.
Zealand.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, guys, on the next show, it's probably going to be a boots on the ground, and I'll have to make some videos and pictures and stuff to throw up for all of you guys. Hopefully, we will come across something we'll be able to take care of. I don't know. I think it's going to be eventful. I think we'll find some stuff down in there. It's very deep down in there. It's very secluded. And if that house is there, I want to look inside of there. I do want to look inside that little teepee. So we will check that out for sure. But that's pretty much all I really got for tonight. Unless you got anything, Brooks or Mom.
Oh, I'm good. I just thank everybody for being here. And thank you for supporting Wide Open Adventures and AI Seeking the Truth. If you like paranormal, good paranormal stories over there. So we love and care about each one of you.
You want to say something?
I want to say thank you to everybody that is helping bring Hunter home. This Nana misses him a lot, and I can't wait for him to get back. And you guys helping means the world to me. So thank you all very much.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you all so much for the donations and support, all the gifts that you send in the mail. He's going to love opening all the presents. We put every present under the tree. That way he's able to open them when he comes home. And, of course, we'll video that for you guys. The donations are so helpful in fighting and bringing him home. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of good news. We have a court date coming up. And I believe that he's going to be coming home soon. And I know he's ready, and we're ready. And we just got to keep the fight. We're not going to stop till he comes home. Like I said, I don't care what it costs, what I have to do. We'll keep on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I spent thousands of dollars on Kaylee, and I will continue with him. I'm not going to stop. So until he's home, the fight's got to continue. I want to thank you all for supporting Wide Open Adventures. That's Hunter's channel. So if you'd like to go subscribe for him, he'd love to see the numbers. He's about the numbers now. And that's pretty much all I've got for tonight. But thank you all so very much for watching. There'll be video drops coming probably tomorrow and all next week. So thank you all very much for watching those, hitting the like button, and helping everything keep going. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you after the boots on the ground next week. Take it easy, guys, and God bless.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.